since the last video. Um, so this is Mindfulness Month, day 21, kinda, sorta, except again, we're on day 23, but the videos are getting done. So let's just be grateful for that. Um, so yesterday we were talking a bit about the physical health benefits of mindfulness, and today we're going to discuss some of the mental health benefits and how it helps you regulate your emotions, which I mean, physical health is important and something we all really want, but I think anybody watching this is interested in the mental health benefits and emotional regulation. So let's just get into that, dive right into that topic. So mindfulness can help us learn how to deal with our thoughts and our emotions in healthier ways, which is the point of this entire thing, right? Um, it has a lot of impact on anxiety and depression, and then just overall mental health. So when it comes to emotional regulation, um, it has a lot to do with awareness, right? So last month we spoke an awful lot about self-awareness, and in order to be self-aware, one must be mindful, um, because you're not going to be self-aware unless you're aware of yourself and what you're doing. So mindfulness allows us to take a step back from our emotions and our thoughts without reacting from them. It can be hard. You can get the feel of it, though. You can get used to it. You can figure it out. Um, so it allows you to observe what these things are, the thoughts and the feelings you have, um, because you're not reacting right away. I mean, it gives you, there's this space in between the stimulus and your reaction to it. And I have in the past been able to be there for that. Um, it does, that's a lot of presence, but it's good. Um, especially when I was having a really hard time, after my last breakup, I just was miserable. And, being mindful really helped because I would have thoughts and then my reaction to them was like, oh, like upset, crying, whatever the case may be. And I got to the point I got to the point where I was so paying so much attention to it that I was able to be in that pause in between your reaction and the emotion or the stimulus. And I think that's because it's number one, it slows that process down a bit when you're being more mindful. But also, if you're paying close attention, you can just see it's just there. Like, oh, there's a space in between them where I have more of a decision to make and where I can relax. I can choose to relax. I am going to sneeze in just 1 second. Excuse me. All right, so the point is, mindfulness allows us to take a step back and take a deep breath, relax our bodies, see what's been triggering us, catch our patterns, but also prevent us from acting from a place that we might regret acting from later. And this helps you be more in control and less reactive in your emotional reactions. So it also reduces anxiety when you're present. We've talked about this a bit before. When you're present, you are not in the future and you are not in the past. Mentally, obviously, physically, you're always present. But when you are able to be here, you recognize that nothing, for the most part, in most cases, nothing bad is truly happening in this exact moment. Nothing bad's happening. Like, sure, my life situation is not necessarily what I want it to be. And that's a different story. That's a whole different thing that we can talk about. But no matter what the life situation is, in general, at this moment, I mean, I'm outside, it's a beautiful day, and wherever you are. I mean, you might not be outside, and it might not be a beautiful day, but there's nothing bad going on, most likely. Um, so when you can be in the moment I've always found it to be a place of refuge. Um, it's like a sanctuary. Like you don't have to think about the future and you don't have to think about the past. You don't have to dwell on them and keep bringing them up and all this and live there and be worried about it or be depressed about it. Um, you don't have to do all of that. You can just be, and that helps so much. Um, so in general, it improves mental health, right? It's emotional regulation, helps with depression, helps with anxiety. Um, it's had like lots of studies have showed that it has like a profound, in fact, impact on mental health. If you're mindful regularly, if you're meditating regularly, if you are in the moment, you experience fewer symptoms of depression and anxiety for the reason that we just talked about. It breaks the cycle of negative thought that keeps you stuck. Um, so, I mean, mindfulness, just like everything else we kind of talk about on the show, is not a magic elixir. I mean, it kind of is, kind of is in some ways, but as far as like long-term benefits, if you keep at it, um, it's not gonna fix everything overnight. Although it can fix what's in the moment, what the emotions you're feeling in the moment. But as far as like your overall mental health, this is something you've got to practice, right? They call it, there's a meditation practice, there's a yoga practice. That's what they call it because it's a practice. And the more you practice, the more you're equipped to deal with whatever comes up emotionally. It makes you feel more stable, um, which is important because life is pretty chaotic. Life can be chaotic. Life is. I'm feeling a little self-conscious because I just had like a smoothie with blueberries and now I think my entire mouth's purple, but it happens. Um, so yeah, so it gives you like life can be really chaotic, especially these days. Um, I know that for me, I can get easily get caught up in the mental whirlwind of all the thoughts that just don't seem to stop. And if you're not present, they're going to continue to not stop. They're just going to keep going. When you're present, you can slow down and you can see the thoughts and you don't have to choose. You can choose not to engage with them and you're not caught up in that whirlwind. You know what I mean? Like you have more of a choice. You're given a choice when you're mindful. You don't really have much of a choice if you're not in the moment. Um, So another really beautiful thing about mindfulness is that it increases self-compassion, which I think a lot of us really need to do. Um, when we're doing this, the, the, when we're doing this, when we're being mindful, we are taking the time for ourselves. Um, and it's treating ourselves with kindness, right? Because we're not judging. We're being objective. I prefer that. We're being objective. Um, Especially when we're going through a tough time. Now, this is a thing that we haven't talked about really, but you got to do this when you're feeling good, because when you're feeling bad, it'll be really hard to do unless you've been practicing. So the best time to do this, I think, well, not the best, because there's for different reasons. This is a good reason to do this while you're in a good place, because when you practice, it won't be hard to get there when you're having a bad time, because when you're having a bad time, it's a lot harder. Oh wait, okay, I'm gonna stop and breathe and be mindful because this bad thing has happened, or this bad thing, this thing that's causing me a lot of emotional discomfort has occurred, and now I have to deal with this emotional discomfort, and I'm gonna be mindful. Well, it's really super hard because my mind is even more caught up than normal. So practice when you're feeling good, so that when you're feeling uncomfortable, you can actually do it. That's a little off the subject, but I want to point that out. Um, and it stops you from beating yourself up, right? And from punishing yourself, and you're offering yourself some understanding, a little bit of grace, and that's really important when it comes to mental health. Um, so yeah, if you guys have been if you've been feeling anxiety, depression, or even just like down in the dumps or feeling bad about yourself, you kind of be more mindful, which isn't necessary. I mean, yes, meditation is helping you practice mindfulness, but mindful throughout the day means being in the moment. Um, if you are able to do that more and more, it could it could make a big deal. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. I'm going to go wash whatever that is. It's my smoothie. I had to drop a smoothie on the thing, and then I just yeah. So I'm gonna go take care of that, and I'm just gonna remind you guys that even if you've got some smoothie on your arm, you can always choose to have a grateful day.